What's going on, guys? I am Toxic Jordan. Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be taking down the next stage of the 10th anniversary battle here. We are up to the 9th anniversary part 1. So I have heard some quite nutty things about this stage. So we do have a couple of missions to take care of here. It looks like we've got to beat it with the classic superheroes team, and then also they want to have us do this with super bosses. So we have built our superheroes team. This is what we're going to attempt to take this down with. We'll be using a friend Beast Gohan. Thank you very much. So yeah, we'll go ahead and switch this off. The only unit I'm really worried about here is the Goku Frieza. So potentially if they're not working out for us, we can take them off the team. But everybody else should be looking pretty good here. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump in. You know, the nastiest parts that I've heard, aside from these bosses just hitting very, very hard and stuff, is specifically about that super boss's mission just being an absolute nightmare, because even like the AGL Broly leader himself is like not enough. So I have been doing this consistently for these videos. Anytime there is a left path and a right path, I'm doing, you know, one fight each for each of the missions. So because for the Super Boss's mission, I have a special strat that I'm planning on using, I do need to fight the Broly stage for that one and not the Beast Gohan side. So that means essentially what we're going to end up doing here is fighting Beast with Beast. That is going to be the plan here. Okay, so I haven't actually seen these fights played yet. I've just heard some people talking about it. So I'm not 100% sure how many phases they're going to be. I guess I would assume 2. It's possible they're a little bit longer, but yeah, we'll have to see how that works out. Okay, so right up front, I think these rotations look fine. Let's go ahead and just start testing and see how hard these bosses hit. I'm going to play normally for now. I have a feeling that in the end, ultimately, I'm not going to be able to play normally, and we're going to have to kind of pull off some cheeky strats to get the W here. But yeah, for now, we'll go ahead and just act as if Beast Gohan is invincible, as he should be. Okay, so we're taking a super attack right away. Let's see how much this hurts. I imagine we're going to take a lot of damage here. Okay, only 110. That's definitely less than I expected. But also, you know, we're not on the final phase of the fight yet, right? So, it's only going to go up from there. And if Beast Gohan is not infinitely, or, you know, like double-digit tanking already, then other units might be looking quite scary. But obviously, we do have the best slot 1 unit in the game, AGL UI Goku. So he is definitely going to be helping us out on every other rotation. And that is not going to be the worst. We did get a little bit unlucky with our rotations here because one of our Beast Gohans is in slot 7. Obviously, I wasn't going to put anybody but Beast Gohan in slot 1 here, and that was smart because that's where the super attack ended up being. But yeah, that just means we're going to have 2 Beast Gohans on the next rotation. But I guess that'll be fine because we can split them and just put another one in slot 3, right? And it will be my Beast Gohan that's only 79% versus this one that's rainbowed anyway. So yeah, I guess that's fine. Not a big deal. Alright, so we're getting some nice attack and defense raises in here for the LR Gods. We do want them to build up as much as they possibly can before we eventually transform them. This is not going to be that long form of a fight. It seems like it is going down pretty easily, so we probably will end up transforming them as soon as we get the opportunity to. I'm hoping that the turn that we end up transforming them on will be a turn that the enemy is lower than 50% HP, or I guess if we're below 50% HP, that would be nice too. Just because then we'll be able to launch their active skill for some additional damage, right? So yeah, we'll see how all that works out for us. But I can imagine that we're going to be fine, considering we have AGL UI to protect us. We have the potential for his revive and or the Int Evolution Blue Vegeta revive. We have the LR Gods transformation, which is going to be quite powerful along with their active skill. We have the active skills from AGL UI and from Int Evolution Blue Vegeta. And then we have the active skills from both Beast Gohans that are going to give us those free protection turns, right? And then on top of all of that, we also have the potential domain to use with Tech UI, which we did get lucky enough for him to proc on turn 1, so we just have to wait until turn 5 to be able to activate that domain. The only problem is that it's going to make the Beast Gohan hit harder as well, right? Like the enemy Beast Gohan. Okay, how do we want to set things up here? Let's see. I think we're in business with Frieza because we are still above 77% HP. No, we needed to be below. Okay, so the first hit that that the final form Frieza takes is going to be bad. That very first hit he takes is going to hurt pretty badly. Yeah, unfortunate. Okay, well, actually, it's not going to matter, I'm realizing here, because we're probably just going to KO him before we get to that point anyway, right? So we'll grab those for a little bit of healing. And then I guess, yeah, we can just grab these orbs. It doesn't really make a difference here. Yeah, there's no way that Beast Gohan survives to that point where Frieza would have to take an attack. So then we did actually end up getting lucky there, because now from this point on, when Frieza comes back, we will have access to the tag switch, and then we can, you know, take advantage of making him look as good as possible, right? Okay, so now we're facing the TUR Beast Gohan. It looks like this will end up being a 3-phase fight here. No problem, though. No problem. I guess for now, just because we don't really know how much this is going to ramp up through each phase, let's save the active skill and see if the base form of Beast Gohan is capable of just straight up tanking this. And then if not, let's keep in mind that we also have the LR Gods. Like, look, one turn of raises, they're already at 1,000,000 defense, right? Surprisingly enough, I don't think that's going to be quite enough defense. I think they're going to need more than that, even. But yeah, that should be enough for this turn to get them through. But ultimately, to like tank a slot 1 super, I think they probably will need a higher defense stat than that, especially on the final phase of the fight. But for now, we should be okay here. Okay, and same deal again. 1 hit, which is nice because we get that defense raise in with the hit, right? Okay, yeah, Beast Gohan is still tanking perfectly fine. There we go. Very good, very good. Okay, and launching a whopping 21 million attack stat. Very nice to see as well. Sweet. Okay, maybe the superheroes mission is not going to be quite as difficult here, but I know a lot of people have been struggling with the super bosses side of things, right? And aside from just being in that order inherently, like the super bosses or the superheroes mission was first, I would have just chosen to do it that way anyway. But this is also going to be good because when we finish the superheroes mission, I believe that's going to allow us to get the silver skill orbs. Which I guess I don't need to talk about too much now because we're not focused on that mission yet, but that is going to help us with the Super Bosses mission, I will say. So yeah, this might be one of those rare cases where we don't actually take down, take out both missions right away, but we have to do a quick pause and apply some skill orbs and then go into the Super Bosses mission and then collect the remainder of the skill orbs once we beat that, right? So we'll see, we'll see. Okay, so far so good with these guys. Okay, and now we have access to all of our active skills. I don't think we're going to use them yet. Okay, so we're not going to be able to get the domain up until turn 6, but I do want to try and get that activated, so I think we'll probably keep the 2 UIs together. And then obviously we're going to put AGL UI in the first slot here. And this should be GG for this turn. Should be. Just in case it's not, I guess, we'll save all those STR orbs for Beast Gohan on the next turn. But yeah, we should be fine here. Okay, and we dodge. I got so scared. That took so long to proc the dodge animation. Holy moly, I thought he was about to get hit. But it's AGL UI. He doesn't get hit. Okay, perfect. Yeah, we're looking pretty solid here. Okay, this is more than likely should be the final rotation on this phase here. Okay, and now we're at 100% dodge, so all of these are going to be free and easy dodges for us. And since that super attack is already out of the way, we don't have to worry about that one measly attack at the very end there. We know Evolution Blue Vegeta will be able to tank that post-super, no problem. Oh, I did not consider that Evolution Blue Vegeta hasn't gotten, like, any stacks or build-up or anything yet, because we did finish off that last rotation before he got the opportunity to attack, right? So yeah, not super perfect there, but that is fine. Okay, this this is actually decent. This is going to give us an opportunity to get some extra stat buffs with them before we have to transform them, right? So yeah, we can leave our rotations exactly like this, and then we'll just go ahead and get the 24 key super with them, get another stat raise, and then that should end the turn there. Okay, we'll grab these purple orbs just to heal back to full. And get that Dokkan gauge a little bit closer to proccing as well. Okay, and then this next turn should be pretty gnarly. We're going to have access to the domain, and then we also have both UI Gokus and a Beast Gohan here. So yeah, this is going to be pretty good for us, I think. Okay, so before we proc the domain, let me very quickly just double check the effects of it. So superclass enemies and allies are going to get 15%, plus another 15% for Realm of Gods. Superclass enemies and allies, yeah, he cancels dodge canceling, right? Which that part's going to be irrelevant for this. But okay, so that means that the enemy Beast Gohan is going to be hitting 15% harder if we proc the domain. But I think that's probably a good idea. Let's go ahead and proc the domain. The reason why is because the rest of our rotation is looking very, very solid defensively, and then obviously this guy's not going to get hit with anything, right? So yeah, probably like damage-wise, that makes the most sense. And then we're going to have the LR Gods transformation on the next turn, as well as the Beast Gohan active. So yeah, I'm thinking overall we're probably going to look fine here, yeah. Okay, let's go ahead and first let me check the enemy effects. Okay, it looks like he's just straight up. No cheeky abilities in there that we can see, right? So let's go ahead and launch this active skill, do some free damage. And now that we have that domain active, doing a little bit more, right? And then I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put AGL UI in the first slot because the counterattacks that we do with the tech UI are going to hit harder once he's super attacked and raised his attack power, right? So having all the attacks after him works better. If we needed to rely on him in slot 1, that would be a different situation, but we obviously don't here. And then, yeah, I guess we can just grab all these orbs. I'm a little bit worried about that orb field. That looks kind of nasty. I don't think we have any like orb changing to rely on the next turn. But hopefully with the LR Gods transformation, we'll be in business. We'll see. Okay, so as we should, we did dodge in that first slot, no problem. Right, getting off some additionals. Obviously, our attack stats are looking quite good because of that domain. So as long as we continue to dodge, then we're not going to have any issues at all here. Oh! I got scared with that normal that we were getting hit by an attack. And then I realized when the crit went through that was us dealing damage and not him. Sometimes when those normal attacks are going off, it's a little hard to tell who's attacking who, right? Okay, perfect. So we're getting some nice attack raises in here. The more super attacks we get, the better. The harder these counter attacks are going to hit. Okay, awesome. And we are going to dodge and counter that. Perfect. So now we definitely should be able to survive the turn, right? So even if he got a massive attack buff at this phase, the super attack is now gone. So we don't have to worry about if Beast Gohan would have the ability to tank it in that final slot, right? Okay. Very good. And then obviously with the domain active, that super would have hit quite a bit harder, right? So it is very possible that we could have been one-shot by that. I would believe it, that any of the units on this team could take more than 700k on the super attack from this phase, right? Okay. Okay, we are chilling at this point. We are doing very, very well for ourselves. Okay, so the first order of business is, I think, we might as well launch this active skill for some free damage. No time like the present. So let's do that. Cool. Doesn't hit super hard. He has not had enough time on rotation to really build up or anything. So that's a bit unfortunate, but it is what it is. And then we, at this point, probably should transform into the LR Gods here. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. And then we get our orb changing in. Very wonderful. That fixes the board. And then now they have their active skill to use as well, which I know we're going to launch it for sure. I just want to remind myself of all the effects of it. Okay, yeah, it's giving us guaranteed crits for the turn, as well as the damage, right? And then they have... I believe this is going to be our slot 1 unit. Let's go ahead and launch their active skill first, and then we'll figure out what to do with the rest of the rotation based on how much HP he's got. Okay. So he's got 1 HP? Okay, so the fight is over at this point. I think we're going to want the LR Gods in slot 1 here. We only need to get off 1 attack, obviously. We know because we just transformed them, they have the 77% damage reduction. And they're guarding. Okay. They have the 30% chance to evade here. And then they're also getting an additional 10% chance to evade with each rainbow key sphere obtained. So we can get 4 with them, right? Yeah, only 4. Okay, this is one of those times. Let me rant about this really quick, since the fight's just about to be over anyway. Okay, so... they have this ability right here. Receives an additional 2 key per key sphere obtained, but it's only per key sphere obtained. I really, really wish that that was per rainbow key sphere obtained, because, so they do have this ability in their passive, which allows them to get more stats with every key sphere. That's why they have this ability here, to allow them to get that a little bit quicker. But the problem is, because they're not rainbow specific, that means that, it's not prioritizing selecting the rainbow key spheres, which is what we want, because the best part of their ability is the dodge chance, right? So if we were to have, you know, an additional 2 key per rainbow key sphere obtained, then when we selected either of these sets on the right, it would just give us the 5 rainbow orbs, which would give us that extra dodge chance, and we would have 90% dodge. So yeah, when I was originally going over their kit, this was something I realized was going to be a problem for them. I mean, it's not necessarily a problem, right? Like, per se, they still do have 70% chance to dodge. Oh, I guess it wouldn't be 90, it would be 80% chance. But yeah, 70 is going to be good enough, so we'll go ahead and run with this. That should be fine for them. And then, you know, on the off chance they do get hit, they still have 2.3 million defense, so that's probably going to be enough. And because of that, I think they're actually going to be stronger defensively than Beast Gohan, so we're not going to use the Beast Gohan active in order to, you know, proc that attack all business. I think we'll just skip the taunt for this turn. And then, yeah, this should go ahead and finish it up here. Let's see how we do. Okay, 1 dodge. And, wow, they actually got hit through the 70% dodge. Yeah, so, case in point. Having the ability to select those extra rainbow key spheres would be nice, right? Okay, and there we go. That is the Superheroes mission taken down very, very easily. I am not surprised that that was easy as all hell, right? Okay, so now we get into the scary stuff, the Super Bosses mission. So we do have access to these. Let me see what skill orbs we just earned with those missions. Oh, okay, well, let me see. Okay, yeah, so we get the bronze and silver ones already. The only thing that we're earning from... Or wait. There's only 1 orb there. Okay, so what is it? Let me see. Clearing part 1 gives you the bronzes for both. And then clearing without a support item... I see. Clearing without the support item gives you the silvers for both, which the dodge one does go to Broly, right? Yes, it does go to Broly. It's so dumb that they're different in that way, that Beast Gohan doesn't have the dodge one, and he is instead getting the additional one. I definitely thumbs down to that. But, okay, cool enough that he is getting the dodge one. So, we do have the ability to throw this skill orb on our Broly before starting the next phase, and then, because we got the superhero mission done, this should be for Beast Gohan as well. Oh no, this is for Broly. Wow, okay. Okay, yeah, so really quick, before we even start with the Super Bosses mission, because I know it's going to be a nightmare, let's go ahead and apply those equips to Broly really quick. Okay, so just to keep up with the continuity of what we've been doing in the previous versions of these videos, we will show off the equips he had previously versus what we're going to be giving him now. So he you know, for the bronze slot is going to be able to go up a little bit with the defense here. The silver slot gets a lot better because right now he just has crit and defense. We're going to get a lot more defense and then a bunch of evasion as well, so that is awesome. And then for the gold slot, I think we're probably going to leave the old one on where he has the, you know, he has the additional and defense rather than the additional and crit. We definitely want to focus on him being as you know, defensively viable as possible. So yeah, we're just going to be swapping those first two ones, but I think for the gold slot, we'll keep it as is. Okay, and there is even a chance we might have to detach the gold orb and go for straight up dodging, right? As well as potentially giving this guy a full dodge build. You know, because right now I do have him built with full additionals. Well, I guess not full, because he's got a dodge build for the top half, but then he's got an additional build down here with dodge secondary, so I would only have to change 2 of these. I believe just these 2 would have to turn into dodge, and then he has a full dodge build. So he's kind of got a balanced build between dodge and additionals at this point. So yeah, I may end up spending the 2 stones to get the extra dodge if it ends up being a necessary thing, but for now, we're not going to worry about it. We'll go ahead and jump right on into that Super Boss's mission. So let's head back over to the event here. Okay, so this is the team build that I have put together for the Super Boss's mission. I am not super sure if this is going to work or not. I guess we're just going to give it the old college try and see. We are doing a cheeky strat here with the Tech Cauliflas. This is the thing that I was referring to of why we needed to go into the Broly stage rather than the Beast Gohan stage, because the Tech Cauliflas are only going to have their guaranteed dodge being against a pure Saiyan, right? Which obviously Beast Gohan is a hybrid Saiyan, but Broly is a pure Saiyan. So we'll take on this side and see if we can have any luck taking this down. We do have some absolute powerhouses on this team, right? You know, between this Frieza is actually one of the best, you know, support units for super bosses, with a bunch of amazing damage reduction on their kit, so that's going to hopefully work out quite well for us. Obviously, Cell Max is a great tank, especially once he gets built up. He's going to very easily be in the millions of defense, and then we all know Jiren is an absolute powerhouse too. As well as a great damage dealer, which is going to be important so that we can finish off the fight as quickly as possible, right? Okay, so it looks like Broly starts out with some Fury charges here. It says remaining charges 6, so it looks like we're going to have to suffer through whatever phase we're dealing with right now for 2 turns, and then there's going to be some change-ups. I don't actually know what those change-ups are. We are kind of coming in blind, and it looks like he also does launch some group attacks. So because of the group attack and where it's at, we know that Broly, basically, unfortunate as it is, Broly is our weakest defensive unit on the team. So we are going to have to make sure that he gets his super attacks off to raise his defense before tanking any of these attacks here. So, you know, obviously the biggest poo-poo is that we have to have a Broly in slot 1 right now. That's definitely not great. We'll put the friend Broly there just because his defense gets a little bit higher than ours, with the extra, you know, him being rainbowed and ours only being 79%. Alright, and then, yeah, as long as we can get off the 18 key supers with them, that's going to be the main thing. Okay, yeah, so we'll grab these, and then, because it's turn 1 for Frieza, he has the free damage reduction. We don't have to worry about the orbs that we're selecting with him, so the 1 orb is going to be fine. Oh, man, he's starting out with a super. Okay, I would assume we're dead here. Okay, I mean, that wasn't terrible. Considering that was our weakest defensive unit on the team, and that was a slot 1 super. Like, considering that, I guess I'm pleased that we actually survived, right? That's not too bad. But yeah, it looks like we're doing absolutely no damage on this phase. I guess I would assume that's the whole point of the Fury here, is we just have to survive these 6 charges, and then his Fury will die down, and we'll be able to actually do some damage to him. So I guess that makes sense why it could potentially be very hard to get through this. Especially because it's probably a thing where, like, there's going to be a limited number of charges without the Fury, and then the Fury will fill up again. Or because it's a meter, the Fury gauge will drain, and then maybe, like, per attack received, it'll fill up over time, and then he'll go back into the Fury mode, right? That's probably what's going to end up happening here. We'll see. Okay, the one thing I really don't want to see from this guy is any healing. I really hope that this Broly boss doesn't have any way to heal at all. You know, like coming out of the Fury mode, if he heals back his HP, that would suck. Or if he has just a straight up, like, healing mechanic, right? Where one of his attack slots on the turn just gives him a heal. That is going to be the thing that hurts the most. Okay, so it looks like we're fine with the group attack business. That wasn't too much to handle for us. The main thing was that slot 1 super, right? Okay. So, we've got a double Caulifla turn. Obviously, it would be nice. This is rough. This is rough. Okay, I think I want to bank on the group attack not doing that much. I think that's going to be the best plan of attack here. So let's put Caulifla in slot 1 instead of Cell Max. Cell Max is not going to be able to get any defense raises before receiving the group attack, unfortunately. So he is essentially in slot 1 as well, right? I think we'll be fine there because it's just that group attack. The group attack didn't really do anything to the Brolys on the last turn, so maybe Cell Max will be okay. But we're also in base with Cell Max. We have not gotten any build up at all. Okay, that's good. The super attack is out of the way, and it's been dodged for the turn, so we know we're safe there. Okay, and Cell Max does survive that. Not handedly, but he does survive it, right? And then obviously from this point forward, he's going to be much better defensively as we continue to get super attacks off with him. So I would assume that the rest of the attacks for the turn are going to be double-digit tanked by him. I guess unless this Broly pulls out the ability to do multiple super attacks per turn. If he can do that... Oh! Okay. Okay. So Cell Max gets hit insanely hard, basically no matter what. Well, actually, that may not be true. I don't have his kit memorized. Let me take a quick glance into his kit and see if I maybe did something wrong there. Okay, so the entrance animation procs with the Super Bosses category ally on the turn, on the team, which we had. So we got the 100% stats. We had guard activated there as well. Okay. And then for every attack performed, he is getting more attack power. For every attack received, he's getting more defense power. So he could have had slightly... yeah, those hits will start to do less and less as he takes more of them. Up to a point, right? Okay, and then for when all allies attacking in the same turn are artificial life forms super, which they're all going to be super bosses, so we will have this. He gets the extra defense and all of this damage reduction. Wow. And then when there are no superheroes, he gets more attack power. Okay, so yeah, we did everything right with him. And we got him an 18 key super as well, which is that... No, it doesn't raise any of our defensive stats. So yeah, he was almost at the maximum defensive stats he could be at. The only question mark is this. Once this fully built up, we'll see how much he takes on normals. But other than that, he was as strong as he possibly could be. Wow. Okay. Geez. That's maybe a bit rough. Alright, well, let's go ahead and jump back in. Maybe it's just going to be a thing where we know we can't place him in front of a wall of attacks, right? But I guess as long as he's only taken like 1 or 2 attacks, maybe we'll be fine. Okay, so right out the gate, we have the group attack happening at the beginning. I'm going to do this. Because the group attack is up front, we can't help but have Broly get hit by it anyway. And then, yeah, and then, you know, there are no other attacks in slot 1, so this should be fine. Okay, Cell Max is slot 7, so we don't need to worry about saving the STR orbs for him. We can go ahead and just select them now then. Okay, I'll be really curious to see. I'm not going to make any changes to the team or making, you know, any swaps or change up anything strategy-wise until we at least get through the first 2 turns. I think we can pretty easily do that. You know, just kind of toss all of the units into different slots, kind of get a feel for the fight a little bit here. The other thing to consider is that we already completed the no item mission. So worst comes to worst, if we're unable to beat this, if it's seeming like it's looking close to impossible, or we're just going to have to rely on way too much RNG to get this done, then we will apply a support memory, and we can always use our Whis, right, to help us out here. So we'll see. You know, obviously that's not going to be everything. That's not going to make the fight free at that point, because it looks like this is still going to take quite a few turns to take down. You know, barring whatever happens once the Fury mode disables. But yeah, but it certainly will be helpful, right, to be able to have those on the bad turns. But first, we need to get acclimated with the fight, see what all of our units are capable of, so that we can tell at the start of turn what's going to be a bad turn or not, right? There's still a bit of a question mark for a lot of things. Like, for instance, we haven't seen Jiren at all yet. We have no idea what Jiren is going to be capable of for us. Okay, so again here we have no good slot 1 unit. We do have a lot of damage reduction on this Frieza, so I kind of trust him up front. Let's see, he has 60% plus the extra 20%. So yeah, he's got 80% damage reduction right now. I think I trust Frieza in slot 1. Let's go ahead and bank on relying on that and see how we do here. And then yeah, we'll leave Broly on rotation with him. They'll be linking up a little bit better, I imagine, than Jiren would. Yeah, just slightly. Yeah, this is probably the best play here. And then... okay, let's see if we survive the turn. Oh my goodness. Okay, we do get a pretty massive defense buff after we take that first hit, so that's why that first one looked really bad. But now I feel like we probably can't tank a super attack for the remainder of the turn, unless it happens right here. Then maybe. Okay, well, then maybe, more than likely, we're going to take an L right here, probably. Because I imagine if we do have to eat a super, we're just going to get blown away, right? I guess our best bet would just be to dodge whatever super attack may come. But yeah, obviously we know that Frieza is going to be a really good tank for us in general. It just hurt that he had to be in slot 1 here, because we didn't really have a better option there, right? Okay, getting lots of super attacks off, which is good, raising our defense up quite a bit. So we're obviously able to double-digit tank the normals perfectly fine. We're not really worried about the group attack on this turn, just because it was in the final slot anyway. Okay, the attack disable is big, though. That could have ended up being the super attack that was just attack disabled, so that could be lucky for us. Let's see if we did get lucky with that. Nope. The super attack is here. Okay. So Jiren is more than likely gonna get KO'd. Let's see how we do. Yeah, that just hits way too hard. There's basically no chance of tanking that. Okay. Well, again, like I said, I don't want to change anything up until we can at least get through those first 2 turns. So yeah, let's go ahead and try again. We again don't have a slot 1 unit. I really would like to see the Cauliflas split. At some point, it would be lovely to see Caulifla on turn 1 and turn 2. That would be nice. Okay. So we know Cell Max takes a lot of damage. Free super. He's probably going to take more than Broly here. But would Frieza maybe be a better idea to put in slot 1 then? And run the rotation like this? Maybe this would be a good idea. I mean, let's try it. Frieza also does... we did get that dodge off. Does he have dodge in his kit, or was that just from the hidden potential system? Yeah, it was just from the hidden potential. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and run it like that and see. I don't know if that was the right play. Maybe not. There's only one real way to find out, though. Okay, yeah. We were definitely chilling there. Wait, why did we get hit so hard last time on that first hit? Am I missing something? Maybe it's support from Cell Max that was able to buff the Frieza up enough? Could be. Alright, interesting. Well, either way, it was the right choice to put Frieza in slot 1 there. That was definitely good for us. No super attack has come out yet, though, so it is possible that we're just done here. If this is a super attack coming in, then obviously we know Broly can't tank this, so... Or wait, didn't we end up getting, We ended up tanking a super attack with Broly before, I thought. Yeah, it was like slot 1 on that very first turn that we hopped in on the very first attempt. He lived a super attack slot 1, so maybe? I'm not sure if he maybe gets stronger on the second turn of the Fury. Oh, the Fury mode also lowered by a little bit. Wait, interesting. Maybe we have to deal a certain kind of super attack in order to make the Fury gauge lower. I'm not 100% sure. There is some special details that it describes to us in the, you know, in the event details. So maybe if we take another KO, we'll go and take a look at that. Okay, so our chances of survival here are pretty good. We've got 2 Cauliflas. I'm going to go ahead and bank that the super attack is not in that second slot, and we will, yeah, we'll run our rotations accordingly. We're just going to leave it exactly like this. Put Broly in that second slot, and then as long as the super is in the first slot or the third slot, we are going to survive the turn. Oh, looks like the Fury mode dropped after selecting Key Spheres even. It wasn't during the attack phase. Okay, we need to figure out what does that. What causes that Fury gauge to lower. Maybe it's selection of Rainbow Orbs? Because it's only falling by a little bit, so obviously it would be falling by more if it was just orb selection, because we did get quite a few orbs there. But yeah, we'll see. And then I also don't know if it's a thing of, like, when the charges are 0, if the Fury gauge is still full, if he'll just stay in this mode, versus if the Fury gauge has been lowered below full, that he'll defuse and not be as strong, or if he'll stop doing the AoEs or something like that. We'll see. But I think we'll get a couple more answers when we go and check the event details, which we'll do after one more KO. Because it looks like we are going to get past this, the first 6 charges for the first time here, right? As long as... Yeah, there we go. As long as there wasn't a super right there. Okay. Okay, perfect. So... Now he changes into this Broly. Okay, it looks like he still has the group attack. My music pause. Sorry about that. Okay, it looks like he still has access to the group attack. Group attack is the only thing in the first slot, so we want to keep our rotations like this. We did see... Okay, well, we know nothing about this Broly, right? Because he changed. So I don't know if he is stronger or weaker than he was before. I'm assuming he was weaker, simply because the previous one that we were fighting was the LR art, whereas this one's the TUR art. So I would assume that he got a little bit weaker because we lowered that Fury gauge. But I don't know for sure. Okay, now this is Frieza's second appearance, so his passive changes a little bit. From his second turn, he's got 50% damage reduction, but we need to get 3 Key Spheres in order to proc it, right? So let's go ahead and do that. We'll grab 3 Key Spheres with him. We can proc the damage reduction. Now he should be safe there. And then we'll grab all these with Broly. Perfect, and then float Jiren. Okay. This should be another survival turn. Okay. Alright, double-digit tanking, and Jiren gets the dodge in. That is fine. Okay. No damage from Frieza there, but obviously he's not a good tester of what damage we're going to be able to do. And that was the main thing I was saying about the healing. You know, mainly because of the Tech Cauliflas on the team, there's a lot less damage output that we're going to be doing just in general overall. So it's going to be very nice if he isn't healing, just because then it may be actually impossible for us to keep up with the amount of damage we would have to do in order to, you know, beat the phase. Okay, so it doesn't look like he is... Honestly, it looks like he's defensively stronger in this setup. Maybe it's a thing of he's defensively stronger, but then he is offensively weaker. Because we're double-digit tanking everything now. Okay, and then we're back to the Fury mode, so he's going back into the phase that, or the state that he was before. Okay, no healing, which is nice. We have the Cell Max active available. Okay, we're just gonna, from this point forward, Caulifla is our slot 1 unit on every rotation. So we do have the Cell Max active. That is gonna be a target skill mechanic, right? Oh, no. Oh, yeah, it is. He gets 999 defense on that turn as well. So maybe that could be smart for us to use. He really hasn't been tanking well historically to this point. Let's go ahead and... I'm a little bit nervous to launch it. I want to know what it does, as far as, like, how well it will tank, but if we end up taking a slot 1 super or something with that activated, I would feel silly, because Caulifla could just dodge that anyway, right? And I don't think his defense is fully built up yet, either. Yeah, let's save it for now. I think it'll be a smart idea to save it, yeah. Okay, this is actually going to be a bad turn of orb selection for Cell Max, because I want to save all these SDR orbs for Broly, just to make sure that he can get an 18-key super. And then, yeah, we're only going to get the 1 orb with Cell Max. That's fine, though. He can at least get the 18-key. That's good. Okay, a little bit of damage, and a lot of bit of damage from the group attack there. Shouldn't be too big of a deal, though. Alright, perfect. And then there is that super attack we were so afraid of. Yeah, hard to say whether Cell Max would have been fine against that or not. He does get the 999 defense, but I don't know if 1,000 defense is going to be enough against the type disadvantage and how hard this Broly hits, right? Like, maybe I'd feel a little bit more comfortable. Maybe that would be a good idea. We should save the active skill for Cell Max for one of the turns where we're facing off against the TUR Broly, because he did appear to hit not as hard, so I'd feel a little bit more comfortable that he would actually tank properly during that. But we have taken 1 more hit with Cell Max. I wasn't keeping perfect count of how many hits we've taken. I suppose we can check on the next turn with him and see how many, but we know it's at least 3 attacks at this point, because of whatever we take here. Oh, no, we're dead. We're not going to survive. These hits are going to hit way too hard, right? Yeah. Over 1 million, dude. Wait, wow. So can we just not use Cell Max in this phase? Like, is Cell Max not going to work? He's just not tanking well enough. Because, yeah, we had everything active there. He was, I mean, we had all this stuff. We had the damage reduction, we had the extra defense. He just doesn't, oh, it's because after turn 3, he loses the guard. And then he's just kind of screwed from that point forward. Because all he gains from this is the 1 turn of defense. And then from that point, he's going to be a complete fish, right? And we weren't even close to having this guy KO'd yet. So, yeah, it looks like Cell Max is just not going to work for this fight. Okay, well, with that considered, let's go ahead and take Cell Max off. Let's see what we're looking at as far as our options on the Super Bosses team. There are a lot of other units that we can choose from, right? I mean, I guess not a lot, but some. So another cheeky idea I had would be potentially to use her. Because she is going to be getting dodge chance per Rainbow Key Sphere obtained. And as long as there's 2 or more Peppy Gals, she gets the Rainbow Key Sphere changing ability. And we do have the 2 Tech Cauliflas, so this will proc. Which means she could have a really, really good dodge chance throughout, and that's going to help against those group attacks and stuff. But it's just going to hurt because there's RNG relying in that, where she's going to have to dodge, and if she doesn't dodge, then we're in trouble, right? So, I wonder. I guess let's go ahead and try her out. We might as well try it like this. We're not yet desperate enough that we need to try and start iteming. I mean, this is very hard. We probably are going to have to ultimately end up using items here, yeah, like a support memory and stuff. Okay, well, let's jump back in and try again. Okay, we did get a Tech Caulifla up front here. We're just gonna, again, do the no-brainer thing. We are going to throw her right in slot 1 and leave her there. And actually, we did finally get lucky enough to have our double, or our Tech Cauliflas split and not be a double Tech Caulifla turn. So that's good, that's good. Okay, yeah, so this Broly definitely... Oh, dang it, I forgot to check the event details to see what the, you know, description had for us about, the like, power of this fight. Whoopsie. I guess after our next KO, we'll go ahead and do that. Alright, looks like the double Broly thing isn't hurting too bad. Having them both on turn 1. You know, that is going to be one of the more gruesome parts about this mission, if it is something we have to try, you know, 20 plus times in order to get the W, is just because this guy does so many additional attacks. It just takes really long to get through any given turn that he's on, because he has to attack so much, right? Okay, let's see what we're taking here on this turn 1 super. Nothing. Yeah, so this guy is a fish on turn 1. He is only going to be, and that makes sense because it's the SSR art, so usually the way they power scale these things is whatever artwork they're using determines whether they're, like, more or less powerful. So yeah, turn 1 is never going to be too scary for us, but he does have that rage mode thing fully filled up still, and I haven't yet figured out exactly how to lower it. My assumption is that it's with... Well, it was with Keysphere selection, right? I thought it was with Rainbow Keysphere selection. I'm not sure. Maybe it's same type orb selection. Maybe it's type disadvantage selection. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. But yeah, we'll go and check the event details after this, and then maybe we'll have a bit of a better hint about what to do exactly against that. Okay, so obviously now we're facing off against the scary Broly that does all the damage. Okay, so slot 1 Caulifla is fine. This is Frieza's first turn, so we don't have to worry about the Keysphere selection there. Though we probably should have just gotten a super attack. That was dumb. I should have just selected the purple. That's fine, though. I wanted to make sure to get enough orbs for Jiren. Alright, there we go. And it's a slot 1 super anyway. So we should be okay for this turn. We might take a little bit of damage with Frieza since we didn't get the super attack off. Hopefully we'll get an additional, maybe. But we're not going to get KO'd either way, so we'll survive to the next turn at least. Alright, and it looks like that Fury gauge still is full. I wonder if it's a thing of those first 6 charges you're unable to lower the gauge, and then from then on you can. Yeah, I wonder. Okay, let's see what Jiren tanks here against normal attacks. Oh, he isn't even going to take an attack. Okay. Alright, so we do want slot 1 Caulifla. This hurts. The Rainbow Orb changing did basically nothing. So... what do we do here? I think our best chance at getting a second Rainbow Keysphere is going to be to select these ones. Or wait, no. Well, yeah, because if we select these, it doesn't matter because the red and blue are going to be blocking the top anyway, so we can't get another one to link with these yellows. Whereas this one will cause those blues to move out of the way, and then potentially we could get one at the top, just like that. Or we could get 3 on the side. Wow, that's even better. So maybe we do this and give ourselves 66% dodge, and then I believe we do have a full dodge build on her as well, right? We don't even have a full dodge build. I might need to fix that. She's got only, yeah, 12 dodge. She is the kind of unit that I'm only ever using for full dodge at this point, so probably will need to fix her build. Okay, yeah, well, I guess for this turn, we'll go ahead and get these Hope that that's enough. But yeah, ideally, I think we're going to need to be kind of pretty consistently getting the, you know, the 4 rainbow key spheres with her. And again, we get very lucky that we had a slot 1 super there, so Caulifla takes care of that for us. And now we just have to worry about not taking any attacks with that middle slot unit, and we should be fine. Oh gosh, and she took the very first hit she possibly could have taken. Okay, let's go ahead and look at the event details really quick, and we will maybe move on. Let's see. Okay, 9th Anniversary Part 1. You will proceed to the next phase after a certain number of turns have passed. When the gauge is full, you'll proceed to Phase 4. But it doesn't tell you how to lower the gauge. Okay. Interesting, interesting. For more information on the enemies of each stage, please tap the stage details. Oh, I'm so dumb. I always forget that they include this as a thing. The stage details, and we can look at the enemy info. Got it, got it. Okay, so, yeah, that's for the Beast Gohan side of things. Okay, so he is just a straight-up attacker as the base in that first turn. Let me see what this one looks like. Yeah, it doesn't tell us anything. It doesn't tell us anything about the gauge. It literally... how is this more information? This is literally the same information we have in battle, except for now we can see the type of super attack he's doing and the categories he's on. That's it. It doesn't tell us anything about the gauge. Limits? No. Okay. Yeah, so it's gonna be more guesswork. Okay. I guess let's go ahead and jump in again. I think at this point I'm gonna start using items. Let's go for Whis. I think Whis is gonna be the proper item to choose here. But yeah, wow, we are like not even close to getting this done. Not even close. Let me double check how Jiren gets his standby again, because I do want to make sure to proc that. It's just from the 3rd turn of his entry, so we're literally just dying so soon that we haven't been able to get that procced. Cool. Love that for us. I think I want to keep Frieza on, to be honest with you. Frieza tanks a little better than Broly. And then maybe we keep Jiren on. Try and float the Brolys. See how that works. Let's attempt that. I think that could be a good strat here this time around. Okay, it's Frieza's first turn, so we don't have to worry about the orb selection, and then we'll still get the 24 key with Broly, because we do want to do as much damage as possible, right? Okay, we did select both normal orbs and rainbow orbs, and none of them lowered that gauge. So I'm still not sure how to lower the gauge. Okay, this is like a special super? That didn't lower the gauge. Normal attack didn't lower the gauge. Him attacking doesn't lower the gauge. I really don't know. We had one, like, time in the fight where we were lowering the gauge a couple times. I don't know what made it do that, though. Okay. That should be oh, this is a special super as well. So maybe it is a specific super attack type that we're just not doing. That's my biggest hunch at this point. Maybe it's like Ki Blast supers lower it, which would make sense because none of these units are doing Ki Blast supers. Do the Cauliflas do Ki Blast supers, actually? I think Caulifla might. I can't remember. We'll have to see. And it's not unarmed, because this is an unarmed super attack, right? And that didn't lower it as well. Okay, maybe we can get a super attack off with Caulifla. Let's see here. We can, actually. Let me check what type of super attack she has. It is a Ki Blast. So let me see, for science, if a Ki Blast super will lower that gauge. And then the orbs are looking quite ugly here. I guess that'll be enough. We can at least get the 18 keys off. Okay, tank like your life depends on it, please. Oof, that hurts. Okay, so here we go. We got a Ki Blast Super going, and that did not lower the gauge. Okay, so unarmed supers don't lower the gauge. The Ki Blast Super doesn't lower the gauge. I don't know how to lower it. Interesting. Yeah, I don't really know what to make of this. Alright, well, let's just continue to do our best here. We do have to keep in mind that we have items available. Well, item available to us. I guess I didn't bother bringing a support memory. This team is a little bit wonky because of the whole Tech Caulifla setup. We're like half Universe Survival Saga, half Super Bosses focused. Is there even a Super Bosses specific support memory? I actually have no idea. I guess I can do a little bit of hunting on the wiki while we fight here and see if I can find a good support memory that might work well for this team. Because obviously we do have access to the Bulma support memory, but the problem with that one is that it procs on turn 4 no matter what. If it would just wait until our HP is low, that would be great, because then it's like an extra heal we can rely on. Okay, it looks like Broly, I looked away, but Broly did take a lot of damage there, unfortunately. Alright. So we've got to focus on a couple things. In order to get the damage reduction with Frieza, we need to make sure we select 3 Ki Spheres. And then in order to get the dodge with Ribrianne, we need to make sure to get as many Rainbow Ki Spheres as possible. So, I think if we go like this, and then we do this, that's the 3 Ki Spheres we need. And perfect, 4 Rainbow Ki Spheres. That is really lucky. Let's do that. This is going to make the orbs fall a little bit more comfortably. So those AGL ones all clump together. Yeah, that's nice. That's nice. Okay, perfect. With the damage reduction, we are safe, and we get the dodge off. Okay, yeah, so the biggest problem with the build that we have going right now is that we just don't do enough damage. Like, this is nice. This team is nice. Oh, gosh. Surely we don't survive this, right? Like, this is... There's no way. Yeah. Damn. This is very hard. Okay, I think what I'm going to go ahead and do here is wrap up the video there with the L on the Super Bosses side of things. And then I'm going to make a separate video for... yeah, specifically for this mission. We'll just make a separate video for the Super Bosses mission. This is looking quite hard so far. So yeah, I'll just leave that as kind of a lingering bit, I guess. And then we'll end the video here since we're already at an hour, just so we can have the Super Heroes mission as its own separate thing. And then, yeah, we'll come back and do the Super Bosses mission on its own. So yeah, that is going to go ahead and finish it up here. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to check out the links in the description below, and I will catch you guys next time. Peace.